Hi, it's Lawrence of Hydroworks. So I'm at a factory here in Kent. We were called out over the Christmas period. The client has a contract with somebody else. They had very low flow going through their water softeners, and I said to the gentleman over the phone that I thought it was chlorine contamination that was causing it. And effectively that's where excess chlorine in the mains water supply causes damage to the resin. And when the damage occurs to the resin, it expands. It starts off as intermittent hard water, it then becomes hard water, and then it expands, and that reduces the flow rate. So I identified it as chlorine contamination. We've come in, and one of the things I noticed when I was here doing my initial survey is that there was a pinhole leak in one of the cylinders. When we turned it on, it had been a bypass. When we turned it on, I noticed a pinhole spray of water onto the back wall, and so I recommended we replace the cylinders and replace the resin, and at the same time service the machine. And along the way we also had to replace the injector as it had broken. Somebody at some point had tightened it too tightly with too much PTFE tape and had tried to repair it with a Jubilee clip, and of course that was never going to work, so it's not been working for a long time, I'd say. So in any case, come and have a look at it and come and see what we've done. It's a bit noisy. And so here we are, Duplex Black 9000. What we've done, replace the injector, replace the two cylinders, because they were both on the same survey, replace the resin, and completely service the machine. I've just changed the drain as well. Originally the drain was hard plugged in, and I wasn't happy with the way that the fitting went in, so I'd much rather see a loop and connected on, perfectly fine, and then going into a main drain down there. So I've got the softener now back on service, I'm regenerating it, I've checked it once, I'm happy with the way that's drained, and that's good. Client is using good quality salt. That's really, really important. So often we find that the wrong type of salt is used in water softeners. There's a lot of Egyptian and Turkish sea salt on the market, which is in theory fine, but actually it's not fine. And I really need to stand by that. So I know that the salt suppliers don't like me saying that, but it doesn't work well with water softeners for three very distinct reasons. One, we get an oil residue around the actual cylinder and the cabinet, which can get sucked into the actual valve itself. And if you look at that oil residue around the brine tank where we store the salt, it's very, very oily, and that will get into the cylinders. The second thing is there's a lot of sea foam on the top of the salt, and if you use the wrong type of salt, that sea foam will get into the cylinders, and then that creates pockets of hardness, and nobody seems to understand that. Everybody seems to say, oh no, it's okay, just scoop it off, but actually that's not the case. It creates these pockets of hardness that float around and are there forever until you replace the resin. And then the third thing that it does is we get grit, sea sand. And on my website you'll see some photographs, but sometimes it's gritty and other times it's fine red dust. And that fine red dust, actually it's amazing how quickly that fine red dust builds up. And that, once it's in the cylinder, will just pass through the meshes, and that will get into the valves, and that will scratch the valve. And so I absolutely stand by, you need high quality, pure PDV Grade A salt. Nothing else is good enough.